Hi everyone, it's your favorite therapist, Z Lopez. So today we have a special edition of IG Live and I'm very excited because everybody wants to know. I mean everybody, including myself. Does Kiki love Drake? I am emotionally invested now, not only as a therapist or a coach, but just as a person. And I'm wondering, does Kiki love Drake? Like, I have to know. So everyone that's out there, if you may or may not know, I'm gonna put you on. So I'm gonna let you hear the song because today we're gonna talk about Drake. We're gonna talk about Kiki. We're gonna talk about couples. We're also gonna talk about what is a healthy relationship? What is included in couples therapy? When should couples seek help? What about this beautiful wedding and then the thereafter? What happens after that? So if you're there, if you could hear me just right, let me know. Go ahead, put some little hearts, wave at me just so I know so you're there. That way we could go ahead and get started. And please, feel free to share this with other people if you feel that they could benefit, other couples, people that are also Drake fans, people that just need therapy or coaching in general. Please let them know. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the song so everybody is with me and knows what I'm talking about. So let's see. Go ahead. Let me find this real quick. I'm gonna play it. That way we know. In My Feelings by Drake. There we go. Here it goes. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Cause I want you and I need you. And I'm down for you always. So, the most important part of this is to know that Drake is wondering whether or not Kiki loves him. I'm emotionally invested because here's the thing. As a therapist, the answer is no. Drake, Kiki does not love you. I love you. We're meant for each other. That's exactly where it's at. But in all seriousness, no. Kiki does not love Drake. Because if he's actually pondering about it or he's still questioning it, then no, he doesn't. Because in healthy relationships, it's not a cat and mouse game. It's more of active communication and healthy communication. So you will know whether somebody or not is into you or likes you, right? It's more of an adult conversation and communication techniques. So today what I do want to give you guys, as you share, please, if you guys go ahead and log in, share with others, give us some love. That way others can know about this resource. So when I work with couples in therapy, I always recommend resources, right? So it's so important to be knowledgeable, but also have psychoeducation. What is that? That means increasing your emotional intelligence and your awareness of what is going on, right? As far as attachment, relationship issues, different things that all of us go through, not only in romantic relationships, but also with our friends and our family and our loved ones, right? So I'm going to start with the first one for couples. The number one thing that I recommend for people like Kiki and Drake that they do not know whether they're into each other or not is the mastery of love. This is my go-to. I love this book. I've read this book a couple times in my life just because it is that good. This is the type of book that's an easy read. It's amazing to help you increase insight into self-awareness, but also answering what is love, right? What is self-love and how can we master it? So many of us spend money on other things such as our appearance or food or experience. But how many of us really actually spend the time to get to know ourselves and what love is to us or to those that we try and give love to, right? Different love languages. So The Mastery of Love is by Don Miguel Ruiz. And as I mentioned, this is one of my favorite books. And here's the good news. If you're wondering, Z, where should I get it? Where should I buy it? You can absolutely pick it up right off my website. You can go to my website, vidatherapy.co. It's right on my Instagram. You just click on it and it'll take you to the resource page. Why is this so important? Because if you read up on this, on love, you will further understand why it is that some relationships are not working out. So whether you're in a relationship right now and you're like, I don't know why he won't propose, or I don't know what's wrong with him, why can't he just tell me if he's committed or not, why does he just answer the phone during the week and not on the weekend, am I a side dish, am I the main salad, I don't know. That's exactly where Drake is. He doesn't know if Kiki loves him or not. This is a great answer to help you, right? I love it. Okay, so moving on to the second one. A big thing in relationships is a lack of respect and a lack of boundaries. So Boundaries in Dating is an amazing book, and this one's by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend, and I also have this on my website. This is a number 2 that I recommend to individuals who are dating or already in a relationship. So this is something I find very interesting and very frequently. People will spend thousands of dollars on a beautiful wedding, and then I ask them, how much money did you spend on premarital counseling? And usually the answer is nothing. Why is this so important? Premarital counseling is literally knowing the ingredients to bake a cake and then starting to bake a cake. Because if you have the right foundation to any relationship, even to marriage or long-term commitment, living together, right? A lot of people just start to live together. It's important to have boundaries. They say that we show people how to treat us, and it's so true. I couldn't agree more. So if you teach people to treat you with respect and honor, that's what you're going to get in return. But if people are able to do whatever it is that they want with you, it's not necessarily going to work, right? Maybe this is why Kiki is playing games with Drake, right? This is why he doesn't know. He's in limbo, right? If this sounds like you, if you're dating Mr. Right Now or Mr. Wrong, this might be a great match. I'm actually starting a workshop for women who are dating Mr. Right Now or Mr. Wrong. So if that's of interest to you, please go ahead and shoot me a DM, go ahead and shoot me an email, or go ahead and hit me up on the Hotline and Bling, right? So, Boundaries in Dating. I've read this book a couple times as well. Why? Because if I recommend something to my clients, I myself first have to read it and know what's available in it, right? The biggest takeaway that I got from this is knowing what is your wants versus your needs, right? So here's what's really important to understand. What we want is not necessarily what we need, and vice versa. But in long-term relationships, for them to work out and in a healthy environment, it's important to understand what it is that you need. It's not necessarily the other person having a fantastic job or having a fantastic vehicle. It's more so about what they feel inside you. There's this saying in psychology that says that we tend to marry our unfinished business from childhood. And if that theory is true, more than likely, we're going to pair up with somebody that wounds us and heals us at the same time within relationship. So that right there is important to understand why we're attracted to the other person, right? Why is it that they make me feel so good and then feel so sad, right? And then you're in your feelings just like Drake, right? It's so important to know, what am I feeling and why am I feeling this way? Which takes me to my third and awesome book, which is a resource I have for my couples, which is Getting the Love You Want. And this is probably a bestseller that I have on my website and on Amazon. It takes you straight there. All you got to do is go to the resource page and just click, and literally it takes you to Amazon to all the options that are available, right? So Getting the Love You Want. It's by Harville Hendrix, and this is amazing. This is based on the theory of Imago for couples counseling, right? Couples therapy. So literally, the main point of this book is that we marry the wounds we have from childhood. We unconsciously choose people that remind us of our caretakers. So for some people, it might be mom and dad. For others, that might be mom, or dad, or auntie, or grandparents, whoever it is that raised you, right? So it's important to understand that unless we are fully aware of this and not just unconscious, we're going to keep picking the same people over and over. And this is why the workshop I'm running is pretty cool, because we go over that. We start to discover, why is it that I keep picking the same guy over and over, even though he doesn't treat me like a queen as I am? This is why. We're going to start to understand this. It's great reading material. So this is the point and the highlight of today's talk is, if you invest in yourself, you will be much more able to gain more money at work. You will be able to have better relationships, but more so know, why am I choosing to love the person that I love, right? If we're able to manage our emotions in a relationship, but also express what we need, we are no longer resentful. 3 of the top things that couples have problems with or challenges within their relationship is child rearing, right? If they have children within the relationship, money problems. They don't talk about arrangements or what is going to be spent on what, or what is coming in, what is going out within the relationship. And that's a problem, because then if you're not aware of what's going in and what's going out, there will be ramifications, and then the relationship takes a dip. In Spanish, there's a saying that says, when money goes out the window, so does love. So it's important to understand what are the dynamics and what's going on, right? Another really, really, really important aspect to couples is understanding, what does each couple need? One book that I don't have on me because I did lend to someone, which I hope and pray that they are reading it right now, is The 5 Love Languages. And I love it because it really explains to us the idea that in a relationship, not everybody has the same love language. So for some people, what happens is that they speak, let's say, a language such as French or Spanish, right? And the other person doesn't speak that. So 5 love languages, right? For some people, it might be acts of service, doing something for somebody else that you love. And that's how they feel loved the most, right? For other people, it might be gifts. For others, it might be praise out in public. I have the best husband ever. He's so amazing. He helps me when I'm in need, right? And for other people, it might be physical affection, those hugs, right? That attention. So in knowing what our love language is, we can better ask others to be loved in the way we understand. One of the biggest mistakes that I see within couples and people is that we tend to love other people the way we want to be loved, rather than how they want to be loved. This is important to understand. It's taken me a lot of time to really wrap my head around this, that just because I feel loved with a certain style or grace or interaction with another person does not necessarily mean that they're going to be loved in the same way or give me love. So I need to tell them how I need to be loved, or how a certain partner would like to be loved, right? And another fun fact about couples therapy is that family actually is a big component of challenges throughout the marriage or the relationship, because it's something that's not really talked about. In this book, Getting the Love You Want, Dr. Harville Hendrix really talks about the differences in families, and how some families are very competitive and they get together during the holidays and they don't cut the turkey until everyone's there, versus other families that they're very independent and they do things on their own and they don't necessarily get together during the holidays, right? If you come from a different background than your partner does, as far as traditions, religion, or just overall how the practices are in each side of the family, there's going to be some hiccups along the way. So it's important to talk about that before it happens, right? Otherwise, we end up in this really weird stage where we don't know where we're going. We don't know if it's going to last. It's pretty sad, but in the United States, the divorce rate is getting even higher, and it's at 50%. For first marriages. For people who get married a second time after already being divorced once, the rate is 80% for divorce. That's crazy to think about. So that means that if you've already been divorced once and you plan on getting married again, you have an 80% chance that that marriage will end up in divorce, unless you work on yourself. It is so important to know the I before the we, right? And this is why these 3 books that I mentioned right now are amazing. And the great part is that they're really cheap. They're not expensive. At most, I found this book for like $2, right? $2. Can you imagine that? That's cheaper than like a lemonade or lunch. So ask yourself the next time, if you're in a relationship, ask yourself the next time you spend money on something that you might not need, what are you investing into your own personal growth or your relationship? A lot of times people will come to me once the relationship is in danger, once they might break up, once they're thinking about divorce. Why not prevent that? Just as you would if you were feeling sick, right? You would take some medicine to help your body recuperate quicker, some vitamin C, right? Some emergency. Why not get pre-marital or cohabitating therapy or counseling, right? So if we have any questions, please feel free to ask. Once again, we're discussing the components of couples and relationships. So I love getting questions. Go ahead, show me some love, whoever's there. Go ahead and let me know what questions we have. I see a couple of y'all, so I'm really excited that you guys are checking in. and I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and ask some questions, and if not, I'll go ahead and address some misconceptions that I've seen over the years about couple counseling. So one of the biggest misconceptions that I hear when couples first come to counseling is, do we have to continue together? So the answer is yes, if you want to continue in couples counseling. If you want individual, you can do that as well, which is great. You can do individual work as well as couples counseling. So another fun fact about couples counseling is it's really tailor-made. It's a la carte. It's according to what you feel you need. If you feel you want to come once a week or twice a month, it's really up to you. It's no pressure. It's what you feel will help your relationship. And more than anything, both people have to be willing to be part of treatment. That's one of the biggest things. Sometimes I get somebody that's ready for it, but the other person, like, my bae doesn't want to go to therapy. They don't think we need it. And it's important to know that both people have to be on the same page for it, right? Otherwise, what we're working here with is an individual. So bringing it back to Kiki and Drake. If Kiki and Drake were in therapy, what would I recommend? I would recommend that Drake understand his attachment style, right? What is his attachment style? So attachment is very different from connection. Attachment means the way we interact with another person and how we feel security, protection, love, and affection from them. But it's very different from connection. Connection is something much more healthier. Connection means we don't have to talk every single day, but I know we're still good, right? We respect and honor each other. And attachment, to some extent, is not healthy to have in regards to, or I'd say in comparison to, connection. Attachment means I am not whole without the other person. The whole, they complete me, right? But this is false. This isn't a true outcome because another person doesn't complete us. There's a saying in Spanish that says, la mitad naranja. La otra persona es mi mitad naranja, which means the other person is my half orange. They're my other half. But see, the thing is, we want two complete people. We want them to be complete, not supplementary. We want two whole beings to get together. That's one of the problems I see when I see couples, that they didn't really form the I before the we. So the I before the we is knowing exactly who it is you are, but what do you want versus what do you need. So a list of wants would include, how does this person make me feel secure? Does this person make me feel loved with and who I am at this very moment? If we go into love, if we go into a relationship hoping and praying that the person is going to change, we're not truly loving them. We're expecting them to turn into something that they're not. Don Miguel Ruiz, as I mentioned earlier, this book, right? The Mastery of Love. He says that when somebody shows you that they're a cat, they are a cat. They are not a dog. And yet, foolishly, a lot of us will go into a marriage or a relationship hoping that magically they're going to turn into a dog because that's what we want, right? But it doesn't happen that way. They are who they are. And understanding that is key component to be happy, right? So, if we don't have any questions, I will bid you guys goodbye. So just as a beautiful repeat, I will go ahead and let you guys know the 3 top books that I recommend for self-love, couples, and just really understanding how we interact with others is The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. So it's this one. And I do have all of these on my website. I also have Getting the Love You Want, right? By Dr. Harville Hendrix. This is like $2 on Amazon used. And we also have Boundaries in Dating. This is a real fun one. I've actually read this a couple times and I've learned greatly from it, right? Let's see. You know, I have to tell you that the fastest read if you're on the road or you're driving a lot and you like audio CDs is probably The Mastery of Love or Getting the Love You Want. Boundaries in Dating, it takes a little bit really to soak in. So everyone, thank you so much for checking in. If you have any questions, concerns, or any comments, please shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, go ahead and ring me up on the hotline bling, and I appreciate your time.